So welcome to this first video where we're going to work backwards through some of the questions that you have on the benchmark review. So we're going to start with problem 90. So this is the most recent things that we have learned. This is dealt with percentiles and giving us histograms. So it asks us what is the 95th percentile in the histogram below. So 95th percentile, that word, the percentile means that the percentage of people that are below a certain amount or score. So in this right here, I think that the context was ages of Hollywood actors receiving Emmys or something like that. And so you have 5 people who were 30 years old when they received it, 7 people who were 35, and etc., as you go down. So what it's asking us to do is find at which age, so which of these ages, will you find 95% of the people are below that age. Okay, so let's figure it out. So the first thing I need to do is count up how many people there are in this group to figure out what the percentages are going to be. So we just count them up. So in the first bar we have 5, the second bar we have 7, the third bar we have 8, the next one we have 5 again, the next one we have 2, and 3, and 3, and then 1 out there. So 5 plus 7 plus 8, so that's 20, 25, 27, 30, 33, 34. Hopefully that's right. I count 34. You can pause this and double check it and see if that's right with your math or not. Okay, and then because it's a 95th percentile, I'm going to start on the right side and go, now let's just start here. So how many people are below this age right here? The age of 35. Well, it's going to be 5 divided by 35. So if you pull out your calculator and do 5 divided by 35, that gives you 14%. So I have 35 would be the 14th percentile because there are 14% of the people are below 35. So let's do the next one. So we do how many people are below 40? So we have the 5 and the 7 people, which is 12 if you add them together. So 12 divided by 34. So I did 12 divided by 34, and that gave me 0.35, which is 35%. So you see we're still pretty far away from where we need to be. And how many people are below 45? How many below 45? So I have 5 plus 7 plus 8, which gives us 20. And I do 20 divided by 34. So that's going to be 58%. 58% are below 45. Okay, let's keep going. So the next one is 5 more people in there. So we have 25 divided by 34. So I probably should be changing that each time. Now we did 25 divided by 34. That gave us 73.5, so round it up, 74%. So let me do the next one. So how many people are below 55? Again, this is below 55. So we add 2 more people to that group. So we have 27 now. 27 divided by 34 gives us 79. And then we're still not to 95%. So let's keep going. Go back to red. So we have add 3 to it, so we're at 30. We did 30 divided by 34, that's 88. Let's go next one. Hopefully this one's it. So let's add 3 more to that. That's going to be 33 divided by 34. That's 97. Okay, I think we finally got it. And then we could do this one too. How many people are below this? And that would give us, oh, it's the same thing. And below that line, below 75 would be 100%. Okay, so the area or the range in which I'm looking at is between this brown line and this red line, right? Because between 88% of the people and 97, between the numbers 88 and 97 are 95. So let's see which one has between ages 55 and 60. Between 55 and 60. It's going to be B. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. You need to calculate the percentages, the percentiles of the different levels, and then find which one that the number falls in between. So that's a review of percentiles. Now we can use that same thing on this one. This one's a little bit different because now instead of giving us whole numbers, they give us 0.2, 0.1, 0.0, 0.3, and 0.4. So let's see how we would use that. So let's see. So let's first calculate how much we have total. In this box right here, 0.2, there are 0.2. In this box right here, we have 0.2. In this box right here, we have 0.4. In this box right here, we have 0.1. And then the last one looks like it's 0.05. So 0.2 plus 0.2, 0.2 plus 0.2 plus 0.4. I'm just going to do all that in my head. So 2, 4, 8, 9.95 is what we have. 0.95. That's what we have total, adding up all those numbers together. So let's figure out our percentiles. So in the first one, we have below this line right here, we have 0.2 divided by 0.95. That gives us 0.21 or 21%. And then that's 21% of the people are below 19.9. And then doing the next one, we do 0.2 plus 0.2. Again, we're doing all of the people below age 30. So that's, or all the whatever below 30, or 29.9. So that's 0.4. So we do 0.4 divided by 0.95. That gives us 42%. And then we do everything below 39.9, which is 0.4, 0.2, and 0.2. So add 0.4 to it. So 0.8 divided by 0.95, that gives us 84. And then the last one, everything below 49.9 is going to be 0.9 divided by 0.95. So that's 94.7, so 95. So the 85th percentile falls just barely in between these two, right? Between 39.9 and 49.9. And we are not able to see it. Oh, there it is. You can see it now. Yes, we can. So 39.9 to 49.9. That's where the percentile falls. Okay? So if you need to rewind it and go back and look at that, you're welcome to. Move on to the next one. So this is finding the range and interquartile range of the data set. So on this one, you're going to need to pull out your calculator. Unfortunately, I can't pull up a calculator on this, so I'll just have to talk you through the steps. So the first thing you need to do is press the Stat button on your calculator, and then it'll pull up a list of options, and you want to click Edit, which is the number 1 option. So you press the Stat button, and then Edit, and then it should pull up a list, L1. So you can put things into this list, the numbers, and that's where you put these numbers right here. You put each of those numbers into that list, just on top of each other, and then you get out of it. You press second, quit. That's how you exit the screen. And then what we're going to do is we want to calculate the range and the interquartile range of the data set. So I press the Stat button again and go right arrow to calc, and then the first one in there, 1var stats. You press enter, and then enter again, and then that tells you all of the data that we need to know. So after you have the list of numbers there, if you scroll down to the very bottom, so press the down button, it'll tell you the minimum, the Q1, the median, Q3, and max. So the range is pretty easy to figure out. If you just look at the highest number, the range is the highest number, which in this case is 8, minus the lowest number, which is 3. So 8 minus 3, which gives us 5. So that makes this really easy because it's multiple choice, so it has to be that one. So even without knowing the interquartile range, you could have answered this question. But just in case that's not an option in the future, let's figure out how to figure out what the interquartile range is. The interquartile is Q3 minus Q1. Those are the inner quartile areas. And so Q3, the calculator told us it's 7, and Q1 is 4.5. Again, we could do this by hand, but with the calculator it just makes it that much easier. 7 minus 4.5 is 2.5, which is what we have here. So that just confirms that we did it correctly. So let's move on. So the next question asks us to find the standard deviation of the set. So the standard deviation is a lot harder to compute by hand, and so we did go over a method, but I'm not going to review it here because it would take too long. So you go back to the list, type in all the numbers into the list, then press second quit, then stat, and then over to calculate, and you get your new data set. And so the standard deviation, there are two numbers in this list that tell you what the standard deviation is. One of them looks like this, and it gives us 3.65 in my calculator, and the other one looks like this, and this one gives me 3.26. So both of these are accurate measures of standard deviation, just depending on the circumstance that we have. So clearly it has to be 3.3 because that's the closest one to both of them. Okay, last one. 500 students took a college entrance exam. Margaret scored a 65%, which was in the 70th percentile. What does this mean? So it's asking what the 75th percentile means. So 75th, let's just break this up. So 75th percentile means that 70% of the people scored below her. So let's just check all these sentences and see if we can weed out some. So the first one said at least 70% of the people who took the test scored higher than 65%. Well, that can't be right because that would say that they scored higher than her. So that's not true. So at least 350 of the people who took the test scored 70% or higher. Well, I have no idea. Let's just leave that one alone for right now. Because it doesn't tell us how many people took the test. Same with the next one. The last one says at least 70% of the people who took the test scored 65% or lower. That one makes sense because Margaret's score was 65%, and this is saying that 70% of the people were lower than her score, which is what percentile means. So it has to be that one. Okay? So go back and watch this again, and take some notes, and remember to record all of the answers that we did on this and turn that in for the extra credit that you will receive. And the secret password is stats.